Welcome to The Consumers. My name is Greg Warren. I am here with Sean O'Brien to my far right.
Gregory, how are we?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. You're sporting the Tim Convey Ted Drew's t-shirt.
You better believe it, man.
Tim hooked you up with one of those for free? Or
Yeah.
was it sell it at cost, or what was it?
I think I stole it, actually.
Okay.
What?
Got it.
Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
it. So
You've never looked better, though, if I'm being honest.
yeah, it works out.
One of the things I've heard
Great.
about Tim's business inventory control is ridiculous. They have no idea what's going on. I'm also here with Tim Convey, the aforementioned Tim Convey. He's wearing a sweatshirt from the Moonmark Diner. That's his brother Curran. Noonmark Diner.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
The Noonmark Diner.
Randy, let's start it over, man. Let's take it from the top, please.
From the top, the Noonmark Diner, that is in New York, Keene, New York, I believe.
Keene, New York, yep. Which is just outside of Lake Placid.
And we have a guest. This is my my long-term friend and a friend of your guys, too. You guys have gotten to know him over the years. Troy Strawhecker. Troy, welcome.
Thank you.
Troy's
Happy to be here.
A great buddy of mine. We worked together at Procter & Gamble. And we're going to do Crest as a brand this week, and Troy sold Crest. So we flew him in from Des Moines, Iowa. Troy lives up in Des Moines. He left the company before I did. Troy and I lived in the same apartment complex. Down
We
in
did,
Houston.
yes.
Yeah.
After you left the Palms.
I did. I stayed at the Beverly Palms for a while, and then we moved over to, what was it? The
Reserve at Piney Point.
Reserve at Piney Point, man.
Yeah.
And that was maybe some of the nicest apartments I've ever been. Stan Creech, who's a big real estate guy in Houston, told me, I mean, if you're going to do a real apartment complex, that's the best one to do right there. Yeah.
Not the Palms. That's got to be.
Beverly Palms.
Can't be that nice because it's.
It was nice enough, but it was a little cheesy. And yeah, it was like if you saw one of those R-rated comedies in the 80s, that everybody would be living at the Beverly Palms.
The Palm Oasis is what you always joked about.
The Palm Oasis was a bar in the movie Slapshot. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not what it was.
Troy, we're pumped you're here. Any pressure? You're the first non-comedian or brand representative.
You know, I know you guys will make me feel comfortable. I claim to know nothing more about Crest than I did 30 years ago when I left, but I'm
Okay.
going to try.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah,
great.
He
thanks for
sold
having
it
me.
for a couple of years. He's a smart guy. I was officially Troy's mentor at Procter & Gamble.
That's
Didn't know
correct.
that.
I need to make a clarification on that. It wasn't like he looked up to me as a mentor. They assigned him me. Like he was assigned. He wasn't like, man, I really like what this guy's doing. I'm going to emulate him. It was like, this is going to be your mentor, because I'd been in the company a couple of years before him, and I think we were both Midwestern people. So
Yeah, it was a cool program because you instantly feel like you have someone you can relate to and look up to. And he came to my apartment with a 6-pack of Heineken and walked in. He's like, man, this is a nice apartment. Then, I don't know, a year later, you lived there.
War dog.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, man.
Were you happy to be assigned Greg Warren as your mentor?
It was great. I didn't know any different, honestly, but immediately you could tell right away this is going to be a lot of fun. And then I got married shortly after to my wife, Tracy, who Greg's friends with as well. And we'd go see him at open mic night back in the day, the Mucky Duck in Houston and
Yeah.
Laugh Stop. And what was the one off of Nassau Road 1? What was the
Comedy Showcase.
Comedy Showcase? Yeah.
Yeah. They were forced to go see me when I was terrible.
That was fun.
Yeah, we had a good time with that. Yeah, Tracy, you've met Tracy.
Sure,
Have you
yeah.
met You've met Tracy.
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
you guys have both been to Troy's
Absolutely.
house.
Yeah.
Whenever we go play in Des Moines, we hang out at Troy's house most of the time. Tracy hated Houston. Hated.
Hated it.
Couldn't
Yeah?
stand it.
Brutal.
Really?
What? Why? It's too big.
I'm not sure why. I mean, I think part of it was we were just married. She didn't work. I had a work group of friends that she was instantly put in touch with, but I think it was just a little bit of newness. And then also she moved there when it was really hot. I mean, Houston
Yeah.
can be brutally hot in
Very
the
hot. Yeah.
August, September timeframe.
She did a job at the Polo store there for a while.
She did, yeah.
Because I would go visit her. That's how hard I was working. Right. Yeah.
She loved it.
I'd be on a sales call saying, I'm going to go hang out with Tracy. Yeah. And Tracy's one of my favorite people in the world. Just an amazing person.
And did you overlap at Procter & Gamble with one John Brazzi?
I haven't had the pleasure to know John, but I've heard about him on the podcast.
That's it? That's your only knowledge of John?
I started
Do you
as
know how
an
many people work for Procter & Gamble?
Yeah.
Well, but
It's one of the biggest companies in the world,
Yeah,
dummy.
that's great. But they both worked with you, dummy. It's not like, hey, here's this other guy who was around. They were within your circle.
Brazzi and I never worked together.
I think part of it is
Brazzi was my friend from college.
Some of this is starting to get illuminated.
Brazzi was
don't
my
you
friend
think,
from
Sean?
college who helped me get a job at Procter & Gamble. Brazzi was in the paper division, and then Brazzi was moving up fast.
Something about this whole thing stinks.
Donovan Schmidt was paper, wasn't he?
Donovan Schmidt was a good salesman.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people worked at Procter & Gamble?
Yeah.
And you're going to drop Donovan Schmidt on this thing? My God.
I entered the company as an account executive, Tim.
Yeah.
So I was at a level a little bit higher than most entry-level people. So I knew some of the names.
Good for you.
I'm totally kidding. I know you were roasting him about sales rep. Well, I wonder what I actually started at, but they didn't throw those titles
I
around.
think you were a sales rep. Man, you might have been right when they started calling them account managers.
Yeah, it got easier. You know how it is. Everybody used to walk uphill both ways in the snow until us young kids got in there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Greg was a great mentor. We had a lot of fun. He was in food and beverage, as you all know, and I was in what was called HABA or HBC, Health and Beauty Aids or Health and Beauty Care, which is why today's brand is probably being discussed.
What are some of the other brands?
Let me ask you. Was there anything that was a little frustrating to work like with Greg? Was there any I wish he didn't do that?
Zero.
Zero.
We were in pretty different divisions. The best part about living near Greg and having Greg's access to all this food was he was constantly baking things to test him out to go on his sales pitches and his sales calls. And it was great. We'd have just unbelievable eating parties. Remember the margarita machine? And
yeah, we had some great
times.
parties at my place. Me and my friend Shorn had a bigger place than Troy, so we had the parties. And with the margarita machine cost us a deposit. I think there was like stains all over the carpet. That was a great apartment. It was a 3-bedroom apartment. I had one. My roommate Mike Hartshorn, who is the chief operating officer of Ross. You know, the stores. Dress for Less stores. He's the main guy. He's Brazzi at Ross, okay? And then there was I had another bedroom as an office. So it was a big place, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, there's only one Brazzi, so I don't appreciate the comparison.
Yeah. Tim has taken some shots at Brazzi for not
It's not a shot.
Not sending him whatever he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a shot at Brazzi. I'm a Brazzi guy. I'm lifting
pro
Brazzi
Brazzi.
up. Yes. Thank you, Troy.
So that's Troy. We're going to get a lot from him. We're going to get our money's worth from him. But I thought I'd tell you guys a couple of things. The last episode, I've been away for a while. I was in Europe with Nate for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we recorded some stuff and put it out. It's going to leak out. And then this is the first time we're together in a couple of weeks. On the last episode we recorded was with Brian Bates. And I took some heat from Sean, especially about my driving. And we were making fun of him driving so slow. So I leave. Remember it was raining. I go pick up about $200 worth of barbecue. Cause I told my family that I was going to bring them barbecue. We're going to have a big thing at my favorite place, Stellar Hog down here. And, it's raining bad. And, part of the street is kind of flooded out. So I go into the water and I don't really see what's, going on. And this is literally 5 minutes after Sean is making fun of me with my driving. And, I smash into a curb that's kind of underwater. So I don't really see I smash into it. And I'm like, I bet you that tire might be flat. And I'm like, it's probably not. You know how they tell you don't drive on a flat tire because you'll ruin the wheel? Or you will. I can tell you. Like I drove on the freeway on that thing, and then it just shredded off. And so I was on the side of the freeway, and I'm like, and I have $200 worth of barbecue, and I don't know what to do. And I'm waiting it's pouring down rain. I don't want to get out and change the tire on the freeway. So I call AAA. And it's like an hour and a half. Meanwhile, I'm about to leave for Europe, I think the next day. And all the stuff with my specials starting, like the editing process. So I'm on the phone with my manager, and then the AAA calls in. AAA, it's like all this stuff. So it was just a mess, man. So I finally all right, I'm going to get AAA to tow it to the dealer because I have a feeling maybe that wheel is messed up because I've heard you're not supposed to do that. And so the tow truck driver comes. And I'm in this like intense call with my manager about an editing thing that we're trying to figure out. And I'd been trying to get him, and he'd been trying to get me. So I'm on the phone, and the guy's there, and I'm like, yeah, here's whatever, dude, thing. Here's my card, whatever. He hooks the car up or whatever. He hooks my car up, and he's got to pull it up or whatever. And he's like, I'm on the phone. I'm like, he's waiting. He goes, hey man, you can't ride in the car while I'm towing. I'm like, why not, man? I want to pretend like I'm driving. I go, fine. I thought you could just ride on the back of the truck. What's the matter? I'm up there.
Yeah, probably some safety issues with that.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Be the safest ride Greg's had. In a
I
while.
was basically, yeah. I
Much
was like,
safer than him behind the
he
wheel.
was like, kind of go, yeah. And then he goes, and finally, he kind of was like, there's a little bit of a pause. He's like, is this guy an idiot? And then he's like, hey, you can't ride. Like, you have to get up there with me. Because I said something like, can I go with you? He's like, yeah. And then he realized, like, I think this idiot thinks that by me saying yeah to that question, that I can just, be in the back pretending like I'm driving.
Yeah, man. Call some friends. Give them a ride. Tell them to sit in the back. The four of you just up there on the flatbed.
So that was like a terrible day. And then, I had to just drop the thing off. This is like 2.5 hours later. My family is all given up on me. So, and I took the barbecue home. I think maybe we did have it later, but, then I get another email. I had all this stuff with my house, right? I did 100,000 more than that of renovations, and because I was an idiot and flooded my apartment. Well, lately I've been like, my eyes have been watering. I'm like, I'm going to get a mold test just to see. And they called literally as I just kind of winded down the car thing, they called and they're like, yeah, black mold. You're positive for black mold. So while I'm in Europe, I had to get them to go in and like do this inspection. And then they like sealed it all off. They didn't find anything. So they like sealed it off and they had to fog it and do all like wipe everything down. It looks like the end of E.T., like my house looks like the that part of ET when they come in. And so I got the phone call today from Troy, and this guy calls up. He's like, hey, Greg. He goes, I got some bad news. I'm like, oh no. He goes, yeah. In one room, you're at a 3. Hold on. That's the wrong one. Now you're fine. You're fine. we got all the mold.
Oh, that's great.
And Troy's like at lunch, he's looking at me going through this, man.
His face looked like Commonwealth Theater's like happy, sad, like in 2 seconds.
Yeah. It was crazy, man.
Well, yeah, man, you're already scarred because you had all those issues last year.
You
know what I mean? That's the process. So now you're probably just on pins and needles anytime anything goes wrong.
Well, I'm like, are we
there.
going to have to rip up the flooring again or tear down the walls? Like, I don't want to do this again, And I guess they think it was probably just some piece of content in there that had something on it that they, that now they mitigated or whatever. But so they told me I should probably throw out my couch.
Really?
My couch and the 2 new carpets that your mom had me buy, the 2 new area.
Brand new ones?
Yeah.
Rugs.
Rugs,
Okay.
yeah. Because he was like, listen, man, that's very, like, the mold can get in there. And it's so funny because, like, a couch is not cheap, right? That's a good couch that I have. But I've had it for a long time. And I was like, I had a number in my mind that, like, if we got to rip out the flooring, and he was like, man, maybe you should throw out the couch. I don't know. I go, throw it out. I go, we're getting a real deal here.
Yeah.
If all I got to do is get a new couch and a new couple of area rugs, like, versus what I thought I was going to have to pay, I already put a number in this spreadsheet, and we are not even close to that number. So, so that's some good news.
Congratulations.
If I may, at lunch, my favorite part about the call was, where Greg was just traveling and you guys are running with some pretty famous people, and the people you run with and are talented along with, you never know who's going to call him. And he's just getting back and talking a little bit about Europe and all that. And he's like, hold on a second. I see he's getting a call. It's my mold guy.
Yeah. I did, man. When I was in Europe, I was going back and forth with these guys when I was in Europe, which is a challenge because you're 6 hours ahead or whatever. So I'm about to go on stage and I'm talking to this mold guy who they were doing work over here. And I'm like, are these guys going to rake me over the coals? Can I trust them or whatever? Or do they even know? And the guy goes, hey man, I got to ask you something. I'm like, oh no. He goes, did you open for Nate Bargatze at the Fox in St. Louis? I was like, yes, I did. I went into the room because that was like those guys were just torching me about black mold the whole time I was over there, man. Yeah. And I was like, Nate, your fame might have finally paid off for me with this black mold guy. I say finally, everything. Yeah. He's done a ton for me and it's all paying off. But I was like, Nate, I think your fame may help me out with this black mold guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in Europe. Pretty awesome. I'll talk a lot about it. I'm sure Nateland will talk a lot about it. It was great, man. Sean, we went into the Eiffel Tower. We went up to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, and it was traumatic for me. It would have been just as traumatic for you because it basically meshed together our two biggest fears. Like me, height, you, claustrophobia, and elevators. And the elevator was like tricky. And like we get to the top, we get to the middle, and then you got to go to another elevator, transfer elevators, and go like all the way to the top. And to go there, you have to like kind of walk by the railing, which is the part I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine I'm not so bad when you're in something, but when there's walls, but when I can see like, oh, it's just right over there. And I was like, there were grown women like laughing at me because this really attractive, these two ladies were like, look at him. He's just like, they thought it was so funny because I was like, and then Nate and those guys all figured out that I was terrified and they just torched me.
Oh yeah, then you're dead.
So then we get on the elevator and the elevator's like, it's you can see out the windows. It's you can see you're right there. And Nate shoves me to the farthest point, like where you're right looking totally down. He shoves me you would have been miserable because it was like you could barely. He shoved me to there. Nate's daughter thinks it's hilarious that I'm terrified. She starts jumping up and down the elevator and she's pushing me. And these guys, they loved it, man.
Yeah, the second somebody knows somewhere your fear or anxiety about something like that, they're just gonna double down on it.
Yeah.
There's no way out of it, man. Yeah. You're on an elevator. I don't like it. Yeah, jump. I had a bunch of guys do that once. I had like 6 guys jumping at the same time in some garbage elevator, I don't know, years ago on the road. And all I had to do was not say anything.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't noticed. But the point being is I opened my mouth. I was like, guys, let's ride cool. Be cool in here because I don't want any problems. And they're like, oh, you're scared of this thing? I go, terrified. Boing, 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 boing.
Oh, yeah, man.
All I had to do was not say it.
It's hard to entertain, Nate's daughter, I think, is middle school or something. It's hard to have them in it, but I think she had a real good time scaring me, man. She's like pushing me, and I'm like right up against the thing. I'm terrified, man. The only saving grace is they had a bathroom at the top of the Eiffel Tower. That's the PSA right there.
You know where they don't have a bathroom at the top? The Arch.
Oh yeah,
I found that out today.
Yeah,
we had very similar experiences. I think I got shoved to the front by kind of a bigger fella.
Did you know him?
Nope.
Okay.
You went up in the Arch today?
I did.
Oh, have you ever done it before?
I hadn't.
What'd you think?
It was definitely something I'm glad I've done. I've thought about it a long time, and it was pretty cool. The view is amazing.
Yeah.
That pod bother you? The ride up and the doing that thing for 4 minutes?
But I do appreciate people who have claustrophobia and fear of heights, and it would not be something fun for someone because you're in there for an indeterminate amount of time, and you're kind of going at an angle.
Yeah.
Not that different than.
No, I didn't have a problem with that because you're sort of locked in.
Yeah.
I'm not really claustrophobic. I mean, I don't love an MRI machine, but
those are not good.
Yeah, but
my favorite with you and heights was on our old podcast, Trip to the Loo, available on all your favorite streaming services.
Don't watch it.
For a photo shoot, we went up to there's a high dive here in town, and we went up to the high dive, and we're like, oh, no big deal. This will be a great shot.
I hated that so much.
Freaking out going up, and then we're on
the
platform, right? And Greg is on his hands and knees, just every step, super focused. It was so just shaking.
I can't. I have the need to get low when I'm like I get close to the ground and I need to get low.
That makes sense. Center of gravity, right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing up at the Eiffel Tower, and these ladies were just like, "What?" They literally were laughing. I'm like, "You're not supposed to do that to people," you know.
And on that one, worst case scenario, you fall in the water. Like it's not that big a deal, and he was absolutely terrified.
Was there water though? I thought it was.
Yes.
I thought it was during the off.
No, there was because I remember laughing at you guys.
Well, yeah, I think you were laughing because you're a jerk. It has to do with the lack of water.
Nothing bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you made it safely.
Thanks,
man. I'm thrilled for you about the bathroom.
What was the coolest city, man? Can we get into that for a second? Out of you did what, like 8 cities? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Dublin, Paris.
We had a layover in Cleveland. I would say it's definitely Cleveland.
You never sleep on Cleveland.
Yeah, don't sleep on. No. I would say my favorite was Paris.
Yeah,
Paris is amazing, but they were all cool. You know, Amsterdam really, really cool. London, Dublin, but I think Paris was probably the funnest.
You know
it
why?
was just why.
You know why? Probably he probably stopped by the Creed headquarters in Paris.
No.
Global
No.
headquarters. I shot him the address. Tried to get him there.
Yeah.
I Google mapped him. He went silent.
You know what Creed is?
No.
Yeah, and Troy's the kind of guy that would know that. It's this garbage cologne
He's
that Sean likes.
It's real nice, real expensive.
You,
So
yeah,
I tried to hook
from
him
back
up.
in your day.
What's that?
From back in the day when you were an influencer. Wasn't that part of your?
Oh, when he was hot? Yeah.
No, it's his current. It's his current fragrance.
No,
Current fragrance, man.
Are you a
Yeah.
cologne
Great.
guy, Troy?
You do smell nice. I wear one brand.
There you go. See,
What do
what
you
I'm
wear?
talking about, man. This
Chanel, Egoiste or something like
Beautiful.
that. I don't know.
guy-
Egoiste.
Great
Egoiste.
scent right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, that's high class right there.
Is that a good one?
It's great.
Yeah,
man.
good.
Yeah,
Better-
a few of them, but yeah,
Better
I
than
mean,
Creed?
I mean, look, you're making a good choice either way.
Okay.
You know, you're not cutting corners. You're not going to Walgreens. I can tell you that to buy that stuff.
I'll have to
Right.
try it out.
So yeah,
Don't-
but anyways, he was 5 minutes probably from the headquarters, and I tried to pitch it to him.
Oh,
and
man.
We had
he
a lot
went-
going
he
on,
went
man.
silent.
Oh, we
So-
went to
great
the
content.
Louvre, and we got like a guided tour of the Louvre, guided private tour of the Louvre. It was pretty,
Did you feel a little underwhelmed with the Mona Lisa, or
I thought it was great.
it's pretty
That
cool?
was
But
great.
it is. You probably were prepped that it's a little smaller than most people.
Yeah. I mean,
think,
I
but
was,
then you hear it so much that you're kind
Venus
of
de
worn for it.
Milo was pretty, because I so this is the thing I was like, I think that's Venus de Milo, but and then she told us it was Venus de Milo. But, you know, I'm so dumb. Here's a couple of really dumb things that I'll reveal about that trip to the Louvre. So you know that like whenever you see the Louvre, you see that pyramid
Mhm.
that's like,
Inverted.
I am pay, right?
I am pay. Yep.
yeah, that is the entrance to the Louvre. That's all that pyramid is. I thought that pyramid was the Louvre. I didn't realize all those. I'm like, where are all the buildings around the Louvre? And they're like, you mean the Louvre? Like that is seriously dumb right there. Like that's dumb. Okay. And I really thought that. So I got that part. And then the Venus de Milo, I thought they made a statue of some lady with her arms cut off. Like I didn't realize that they recovered this piece of sculpture and the arms were lost and somehow, yeah. I thought they were like, why'd they make a statue of somebody with their arms cut off?
Now,
Like
did
it
you
was a
keep this to
statement.
yourself, or did you actually bring this up to the guide?
Man, I
That's
felt
what-
like the guide, I can't remember which, I think the guide I did ask. I was like, were the arms ever there? And she was like,
one of these
yeah, she was,
dumb Americans.
Yeah. I just reinforce stereotypes that'll go on for another 100 years about how dumb we are. But yeah, that was dumb. That was real dumb.
Do you feel like anyone was off you? Because is anyone sour with Americans over there, generally speaking? Did it feel like, man, this guy gave me an attitude because I'm from the
Oh,
States?
no, I didn't
None
feel
of
that
that.
at all. No,
Okay.
You're also, you're with the biggest comedian in the
That's
world.
right. Yeah.
You tend to get treated a little better than if I was with you.
Yeah. Shut this guy up. Get him out of here.
Sean is not well liked overseas,
no,
Troy.
no,
it
they don't
is.
care for
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Except for Sweden.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
place they like me.
Yeah.
Sweden's
The
great.
cartoon characters they draw of Americans over in those countries just looks exactly like Sean.
Big belly, fat face.
And shows
smells
big
good.
mouth.
Smells great, though. Yeah.
well,
Better believe it.
shows were good. Was that different at all? Language stuff?
Yeah,
Or tell us about that.
They were great. The shows were great. Definitely the English speaking countries, I felt like a little more of a pop. I'm trying to think like Paris was smaller. Paris, I think, kind of blocks a lot of American culture. So Paris wasn't a big crowd as the other ones were. It's crazy how big he is over there. Like he got recognized when we were in Europe.
Yeah.
Like, so we were doing some big theaters, Paris was a smaller venue. And I think there must have been a lot of expats, a lot of Americans at that show.
Yeah.
So Paris was an awesome show.
How much notice did Nate give you that you had to learn French before going over there? Was that tough, or
We did it in English, Tim.
you did that one? Okay.
And I knew. Oh, this is the other thing that was. I'll tell you. Well, first, I think the shows in Manchester was maybe our best crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and Dublin was like a rock club. We did 2 shows there, and it rocked hard.
the
It was
Irish
so
love it.
great. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. And Nate has this new hour that he's working on. It's the best thing I've ever seen. He has a closer that's like may wind up being his best thing. So that part was good. I'll tell you one more story before we get to the brand, but we're there for 2 weeks, and about a week in, we're in Paris. We're about to leave Paris, and that morning I got up. I think I had till like noon. We're going to leave, and I got up early. I was like, I'm going to get my clothes. I got to go wash my clothes. So I go to the laundromat. I just Google laundromat, and I took a few years of French in high school and in college. So I'm like, I don't remember a lot, but I should be able to do laundry. And you go in there. There's nobody. It's on a laundromats these days don't have attendants. It's just a laundromat. So I have to do the machine or whatever, and I'm failing miserably. And I'm like, and I was like, I should go somewhere else or just bail. And I'm like, no, you'd had 3 years of college French. You can do this, So it turned out like it was a language barrier, but the whole system is different over there. So you go so there's like a machine or like a coin thing over here, right? Or, dollar credit card thing. And basically that operates all of the machines. You don't go put money into each individual machine. You're doing it all from here. That took me about 45 minutes to figure out that I can't go I have to do it from here. And so I am failing on intelligence level and language level. And finally, somebody walked in and I kind of got a few things verified, but that was and I barely made it, man. I've never been prouder about doing laundry in my life. I felt such a sense of accomplishment when I got my laundry done. And those cowards, Vecchione and Greg Garcia.
I thought he was referring to the French for a minute. I was like,
whoa, man.
Hey, take it easy.
He hits them pretty hard.
Wow.
Yeah. So those cowards, they waited till London and took it to a place where you drop it off and they do it. But I did on my own. I got laundry done. And the other thing is I don't understand the money system, whatever. I'm just throwing my credit card up, and then I get to where everything's in the washer, and I put my credit card, and it's like denied. I'm like, no, these clothes they're wet. They're all wet.
Oh no,
they're all.
You can't stop me now.
They're all wet. I have to. I can't. They're not going to hold the flight for me. So, and then my card worked. Or I think I tried a different one. It was I don't know what happened, but God, I don't know how much money I spent because I still don't know how much money I
Greg's
spent.
got an $800 bill.
Yeah.
The
other thing I did, I got some shoes in the Netherlands. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
all right.
Great. Yeah.
Very cool.
They're sort of New Balance-esque, but they're not.
I think they're cooler than New Balance.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's where they're borrowing inspiration, I think.
These guys came way before New Balance, man.
They did?
Yeah. The Dutch make shoes, man. These guys, the guy told me he's like, we're 100.
You're thinking of
the wooden shoes?
You're thinking of Switzerland.
No, the Dutch make shoes. Yeah, they do make wooden shoes, but they're much more supportive than a New Balance. Feel that it's like it got it inside, like it's got a.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Pricey?
Yeah. I think quite a bit. And I got another pair that's a little out there.
Okay.
It's got a lot of multicolors on it. I liked them. I couldn't decide between either one. And I wanted to be like, you do in America, I was going to be like, hey, to the salesperson, I was like, this one or this one. And the guy was, they're not like American salespeople who would be like, gotta do that. The guy was like, it is all up to you. It depends on what you're looking for. It is a very personal choice. I can't really give you, and this is not a Dutch accent. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Friendly accent.
Yeah, I think I'm doing half Israeli and
some Armenian.
I don't know what's going on, but he was like, and then it's like, and then on the back of my mind, I'm like, these guys, they're not cutthroat. They're not gonna try to get you to do anything. And I was like, you know what? I'll just get both. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe they're real good. Like, maybe this guy's like, he knew exactly what he's doing. He's like, don't have him make a choice. Because I went to the girl too, and asked her, and she's just kind of the same way. Which, by the way, that's my move. And I'll always like, well, let's go to the other sales rep.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to tell you. He would, so I always be like, what do you think? And it's usually a girl, which I don't know why. And if it's a hot girl, I'm like, I'll do whatever you think that I should do because you know everything about fashion. I did that.
Good looking shoes, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
If you would have gotten a mold call prior to that transaction, would you have gone with both?
If I got the call that I got, which is no mold.
That was a good call.
Yeah,
there was a point in time where we got bad news, Craig.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know what I would have done. Yeah. I would have called off the podcast. Yeah, ended the podcast. I would have tried to take back the mustard and the ketchup. Definitely, I'd have put some peanut butter on eBay.
Yeah,
and see what I could do.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking shoes. I almost commented on them at lunch.
I usually text you with shoe choices.
Yeah,
you
those
and
are
Chick
nice
McGee.
shoes.
I've texted Troy. Troy's a fashionable guy, as you can see, and I usually text him shoe choices. He's helped me with a lot of shoe choices. So
Happy to help.
Yeah, I could use a shoe guy, Troy. Maybe I'll.
Hey, he's got a mold guy. I can be your shoe guy.
Yeah, I would like that.
yeah.
Really like
And
that.
you've got a scent guy.
Got a scent guy, but yeah, I need a shoe guy. I mean, I'll tell you real quick on Tim. I'll tell you, he is sharp, man.
Thank
Tim
you.
came up a few weeks ago. You were hosting some event. You had this suit on that just. I've had more people were commenting on that.
No, they weren't.
I swear, in the best way possible.
So I hosted an event near the Funny Bone over at Westport, and so right after I went over to the club and just kind of said hello. And you're saying,
I'm just saying people were like, it just looked. Doesn't matter who, but I'm saying people look good on you. Here's my point: that you had these bright white sneakers on.
yeah,
Which, here's what's happening. You could do that. You could pull that off on a suit, white bright sneakers, and it just worked, man. And then I wear something like that. They're like, look at O'Brien trying to be in. Stop it. Throw them out. It's like me wearing a leather jacket. I just look like a jerk. I have no business wearing one. That doesn't mean I don't like leather jackets. Just saying I just can't. Like, this is me looking sharp. This is what I got today.
I think
this
you
is
could.
me
I
looking
think you
sharp.
could wear a leather jacket.
Anyways,
I do
I'm
too.
Giving Tim props.
I'm
He looked
done.
sharp, and people were talking about it.
wow, I'm happy to hear that.
Mm.
I saw the photo of
White shoes.
What brand were the shoes?
Those were, I don't know, maybe like Jack Purcell's.
You know.
What
I don't.
if Randy was wearing some all white shoes like that? What brand do you think they would be?
Keds.
Keds, yeah, or some knockoff.
Keds is legit.
all right.
They wouldn't be Jack Purcell's. They'd be Jack Russell's.
Yeah. He's an exclusively a Vans guy, I think.
Yeah. Now Randy's.
I like nice
notoriously-
shoes, man. One of the things I don't skimp on is clothes and shoes, man.
So clothes,
and
shoes, Chips Ahoy, and also, which leads us to our brand, toothpaste. Randy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Crest 3D White, man. That's my jam. I love it.
Wow.
Well, you're in luck.
That's our brand. Let's talk about Crest.
Let's talk toothpaste, guys. Let's just talk about it.
I want to start. Yeah.
What'd I do? I'm excited.
Liked it. Yeah.
I'm excited about the brand. And Pepto for some reason. We'll get to that, I'm sure.
We'll get to it.
All right, Greg, kick us off.
Let's talk about the history of toothpaste in itself, not just the brand.
Mm-hmm.
3000 BC, Egyptians made a paste of oxen hooves, myrrh, eggshells, pumice, and water. That was their sort of version of toothpaste.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oxen hooves? Okay.
Yeah.
What's pumice?
pumice is something that has a little bit of a grit, I believe. So I
Alright.
think it's probably what gave it a little bit of abrasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's why we brought him down.
Yeah, great. Helps with the tartar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad they didn't say hummus.
There's a product we'll talk about later that helps with tartar, Tim.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
we'll
ahead of
get
their
to it.
time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. These guys.
I look forward to it.
Oxen hooves. Yeah. I don't know if you guys seen some of the posters back in the day where the oxen on crutches, unable to walk.
Oh, yeah, because they lost their feet for the toothpaste.
They gave it up for the teeth.
Yeah.
It was a tough time.
Yeah, sure. They've since replaced it with synthetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back then, the PETA got real involved in that.
Yeah.
The Chinese applied ground fish bones to their teeth. Arabs tried sand. Europeans used table salt. Late 1700s, the first modern toothpaste was made of burnt bread or dragon's blood, which was a dark red plant resin. Sean, I think you're thinking what I was thinking because I scan these things. I'm reading. I'm like, dragon's blood. All right, what is this? Game of Thrones. I literally was like, you're telling me now I got to believe that this guy thinks that there's dragons.
Yeah.
You know? I literally was like, am I reading some sort of conspiracy theory thing? And then I was like, wait, was there dragons? No, there were. I know there's dinosaurs.
Dragon's blood, also the cologne he used before he switched
You better believe
to
it.
Creed.
That's what got me
actually.
into the game.
Yeah.
Right there.
Dragon's blood?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's kind of a tough scent.
Yeah.
Yeah, abrasive.
A little
Yeah.
abrasive up front. But,
Yeah. Well, that's what these were. They were abrasives. 1824, there's a guy named Peabody. Nobody knows his first name. He was the first guy to add soap to dental paste. 1892, Warren Sheffield. Anybody know what he did? Troy, what did he do?
I don't know what he did.
He put it in a tube.
Is that right?
Yeah, he got the idea that, hey, people taking their toothbrushes and all dipping them in the same toothpaste jar might not be so sanitary. Where did he get the inspiration? Artist paint.
Ah.
Makes sense.
Hold on, let me ask you something, Greg. So wait,
Shoot, buddy.
This is around. You said 3000 BC. Is that what we're talking?
1892. You're about five.
Yeah, we jumped.
We jumped.
What was the 3000 BC?
No, that's right. That was the oxen.
Yeah, that was the
Oxen hooves.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna go back to go. Never mind.
No, go ahead, buddy.
No, I was gonna talk about what. Because there's some.
You want to go back further?
We've only been talking about it for 6 minutes, man. I was just saying what would be like they're taking some wild chances with some of these combinations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what do you think are some of the combinations that didn't work?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at there.
Yeah,
And I was trying to figure out the timeline of, we just jumped from 3000 BC to 1892 in 30 seconds, man.
Yeah.
Don't give me this aggravation.
Greg, hold on a second. Let me ask
Logic
you
in the
something,
why.
Greg.
Even Troy
You're
defended
saying Ford invented the car in 5000 BC? Is that what you're getting at? Because something's going off wrong with me.
3000.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, what were the swing and the misses?
You're right, man.
That's what I want to
excellent
talk
point.
about.
It's
Like,
an
what
excellent
didn't
point.
work? If this is the stuff that's working,
Yeah.
the oxen stuff.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Pumice, whatever. It was called.
Hummus. Yeah, they tried hummus
What,
too, I
like,
think, for a while.
what
Yeah.
didn't work?
Unicorn blood.
Eggshells. Yeah, unicorn blood. Yeah.
You're saying they're, and then what's it called? Like the trial and error lab? What do they call it when you're like test market stuff?
R&D, research and
Yeah,
development.
research and development. They had
Oh, yeah, man. They tested a lot of stuff. You know that.
Like, God, dude, you're grinding up bumblebees. That's not gonna work. No, I swear, man. There's something onto it. And the honey spreads out in your teeth, and blah, blah, blah. No, it gives you cavities.
You know the problem with that ground up bumblebees?
What's that?
Stings.
That's the problem. That's why they probably got rid of it, man.
There
It was
you
too
go.
much pain.
Yeah.
It's an excellent point, Joe.
Yeah.
I like
You know,
that.
it's kind of like
That's what I get.
Viagra came out of a sort of a failed heart therapy. You know that, right?
Yeah, you get heart attacks.
So maybe the bumblebee thing is where what do people do with their lips? It's like collagen or something to pump up their lips.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been the early onset of that. So
I'm pretty
some
sure
of the things that
that-
didn't
yeah,
work out
yeah.
could be commonplace today.
Yeah, I don't think they use the word pump up.
They don't. Is that frowned upon?
Is that not the technical?
enrich? Or there's probably a more.
Did you have your lips done? I think is it.
Yeah.
And I think you can't ask that question anymore. That
You
means it was a
can't?
bad job.
Oh,
We all
yeah,
know
that's
that
right,
she
yeah.
did, or sometimes he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there is Burt's Bees lip balm, right?
Yeah.
So see now there's through line.
I think you're onto something with the failed products. That's a whole other
I
deal.
just want to talk.
I like that, man. I like that, Sean. After World War II, that's when things started really popping off. Within the toothpaste, they replaced the soap with synthetic soaps that tended to emulsify more. Emulsify is like that thing that kind of gives the toothpaste its
A little grit or whatever.
no, not the grit,
Volume.
more the- yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, like it's an expansion sort of quality.
Also, when they started adding fluoride, 1954, Crest came out and it was introduced as Floristan, I believe was the name of the first brand. It wasn't Crest, it was Floristan. It was invented at a
In
at the-
Afghanistan.
not in Afghanistan.
I'm trying.
You're close.
Taking swings.
Yeah. Yeah, you do
Thanks, man.
take some swings.
Troy's having a fun time over
Yeah.
here. So that's what's important.
Yeah, it's
Keep
not
the guest happy.
It's not at all hard to sort through this information. Afghanistan. The University of Illinois, or I'm sorry,
Indiana.
University, you got me. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
University of Indiana in Bloomington, Indiana. Great comedy club there, the Comedy Attic that we all play. Not Troy, but
Not me.
yeah, we all play there. It's a great place. Awesome college town. Joseph Muller, I think it's Muller, Harry Day, and William Nebergall all invented Floristan. Procter & Gamble, mine and Troy's alma mater, funded a dental research center at IU. They call it the house that Crest built. I've been to IU now that you mentioned it. I've seen some pretty nice smiles all over that campus.
Really?
Is that right?
Yeah. It's the people.
You would kind of have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
would hope
a,
so.
You got to wear sunglasses.
is that
All the like, ding, the little
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
the
you do.
teeth pop,
bright.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's some of the history, but I thought I'd turn it over to my buddy Troy. Troy,
Wow.
what are some things that you know about Chris that I haven't covered?
Well, some of the things we didn't talk about, Procter & Gamble is pretty great at training. They pound a lot into our head about the brand history and all those things, but it's usually about what facts do you have to sell, because you get a couple minutes, in the aisle or whatever in the whole 5-step sales presentation. So we didn't get a lot into the history a lot. But you got to give Procter & Gamble a lot of credit for innovation. They keep trying to come up with new brands and new things, and we'll talk about gum care in a moment. But some of the things that they did that other dental products weren't doing was getting the American Dental Association to do some testing and some sort of backwards endorsements. Like when I say backwards, I mean sort of by virtue of their white paper coming out, like 9 out of 10 dentists recommend. And I have some facts here that in 1976, in 1960, the American Dental Association recognized it as one of the top products. And once that came out and the 9 out of 10 dentists would recommend it, their sales tripled, and it became, by 1962, I see here, the best-selling toothpaste in the United States. And I don't know that it ever gave it up, probably. I would bet they have significant market share. I know Colgate's pretty big up there.
Colgate's big. Yeah, Colgate's big. But I think we still got them beat.
Yeah. You're still a shareholder, aren't you, Greg?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
What?
What'd you do with your P&G stock?
I dumped it to buy a condo in L.A.
Man.
It was stupid. But
yeah. For as invested as you are, that's shocking. Have you ever thought about rebuying it now that things are going so well?
Well, I had some issues with my my house last year. That is, that was a lot of money I couldn't spend, and then I'm still not sure all this black mold stuff is done. So I'm not liquid at this moment. Okay.
But I mean, the new special's coming out. Things are going well. Do you think you'll buy some P&G stock? Get back in.
I'll talk to my brother about it. My brother Matt handles my investments.
Oh, okay. Good. I mean, Jif being gone though.
Right. They kind of turned their back on what I built was food beverage brands. They don't have anymore.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't turn their back on it. They cashed in on what you built. That's how I look.
They got paid.
Yeah, they got paid. They took it home.
Say it.
Took some money off the table.
Paid.
And he got a condo.
Yeah, and he got a condo.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you buy some Smucker stuff this time.
I might buy some Smucker stuff.
Okay. Just to
I think I invested quite a bit of money in this.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just to reset for people so they understand, you guys talk about P&G and you were selling Crest. That means you were going to, like Greg did, grocery stores saying, hey, here's how much Crest we want you to carry. Can you carry a lot? Here are the different products, so that these grocery store buyers in a lot of ways would put more of it on the shelves and people would in turn buy it. And that's a win for P&G.
Yeah, that's right. I listened to one of the earlier podcasts when you guys were roasting Greg about how, is it really selling because, it's such a big brand or whatever. And I can understand both sides of it. To me, it's sort of like, why does Coke advertise, as an example? You have some on the wall here. You got to maintain the share. So the challenge of being a Procter & Gamble sales rep is you can't go backwards. And there's like shelf to share. Like there's a limited amount of shelf space. And our sales value proposition was always trying to have the same percentage of shelf space as we had market share, which was almost wildly unfair because in some of our categories, we just dominated.
Yeah.
Like Tide and Cheer are both Procter & Gamble brands, and they had like 72% of the, them and two of the other brands from Lever had 72% of the brands. We're not going to have 72% of the shelf. So sometimes like, hey, dude, you got this much space. But then there's a new product that comes out, so you have to decide, I'm not going to give up one of my facings from the Crest family for this new Crest gum care.
Yeah.
I got to go after the Colgate guys or Colgate at the Fiesta stores.
Colgate.
Yeah.
Colgate.
Yep.
Yeah. This guy, Roy Wolf, he was very dramatic about selling toothpaste. I think he was more committed than Troy. He was an older guy. And
most people were more committed than Troy.
Yeah. His wife didn't hate Houston, so he stuck it out. But Roy, we had this, both of us had a customer called Fiesta Mart. It was in Houston. There's, 50 stores, and it's very high Hispanic loyalty to theirs. And Roy would be like, man, it's tough in Fiesta. I mean, you got to go up against Colgate. Colgate.
It's true.
You go, Colgate. I can't go against Colgate.
In Mexico.
Yeah. But we got sort of in the food beverage side, we got the upside of that. They like Folgers. Hispanics are very loyal to Folgers. And Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight. Although Tampico was a tough brand to go against there.
I was on the Kroger team, so I didn't have Fiesta as a client, but I heard about it from my teammates. There was Odette, Salinas, and maybe some others. Yeah. But good stores, great produce. But our challenge for me, yes, in the aisle, trying to sell Crest toothpaste and a number of other brands. And that was the other challenge. We had so many good brands, and you only get 4 or 5 minutes with this decision maker. You had to kind of pick your battles. But I learned a lot. I mean,
what other brands did you have in Hava?
So Scope. So Crest and Scope, all the Vicks family of products. So like Vicks Formula 44 and NyQuil, all those sorts of things. CoverGirl Cosmetics. There was a higher end brand called Clarion Cosmetics. Old Spice deodorant, Secret, Sure.
Shampoos.
Oh yeah, Pantene Pro-V was a game changer.
You must have felt pressure going in to sit down with these people to
You don't
not
get to
only
sit down.
have great breath, but to look good, to smell good, because they're not going to buy from somebody who isn't checking those boxes. Whereas Greg goes in, he's the peanut butter guy. You almost want him a little bit disheveled and a little bit,
a little roughed up. I see what you're
this
saying,
guy
Tim.
knows peanut butter. He's taking it by spoonfuls. I will buy from him.
He eats it in bed, clearly, things like that. Yeah.
You had to look good.
I tried. It was hard. It was a great job. It was partially selling, partially maintaining, and maintaining against everybody's coming after P&G. We had Aleve was a great brand. Remember they got launched right when I started. They've since sold to maybe Bristol Myers Squibb or somebody, but we're in the,
you know what
Aleve all day long, all day strong.
The
Tylenol
type thing.
Yeah.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah.
It was naproxen sodium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those we had
We
a lot of
screwed up
brands.
that thing though. We made some sort of bad deal with them because we got it out there and it was like doing well, and then they sort of like pulled out the carpet. I don't think we did, and I think we did the same thing with the Crest toothbrush. Were you around for that?
No.
We did Crest toothbrush, and somehow we made a bad deal on that, I think. But then we bought Oral-B.
Yeah.
And we
That's a statement.
we own. Yeah. We bought Gillette, and Oral-B came over with Gillette.
Got it.
Gillette was a huge purchase after I left. I was at Procter & Gamble in Los Angeles first with my internship, and then in Houston where I met Greg probably 3 or 4 weeks in. And I was only there for a couple of years. It was a great place to learn, but I had an opportunity with the family, and a lot of changes were happening at P&G. But when you started there, if you didn't want to like really advance, it wasn't a place for you because it's really about career advancement. They hire solely from within. I mean, it wasn't the toughest job I ever had, but it was probably one of the toughest jobs to get. We had to take the test. Remember the exam, and
It's like an SAT test.
When you started?
before you got an interview. To get the interview, there's a written P&G test, what
What are they asking you?
It's
Sort of
not
like SAT stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, just intelligence. This isn't about.
aptitude.
There's two tests. There was that test, which was aptitude and problem solving. And then there was,
Myers-Briggs, that one.
it was like basically like sort of a way for them to determine whether you're going to quit, like loyalty type.
I missed,
Dude, I missed those on a few different interviews.
Did you?
Early on, yeah. I mean, I was a kid. I was in high school, and it's like, would you go skydiving? And I was like, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. And then my idiot friend got the job. I didn't. I don't even want to say what it was. And this guy, I mean, I was like, what'd you do? Because you told him you'd skydive? I mean, that's what that was, right? Yeah.
We should have done that with Sean before we let him on this podcast.
Give me yeah.
Yeah, because he's threatened to quit like 12 times.
Yeah.
19.
In the middle of airport, grocery store. I'm trying to think where the last time you threatened to quit was.
I mean, you threatened to fire me as well, right?
That's
so it's
true.
not like, I mean,
Yeah, I
one
guess you
more
got a
time
point
and you're
there.
off the show. I'll call Nate.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I think Nate, I don't think I have to call Nate to get this approved.
Oh,
Probably call Adrian. Yeah.
yeah, I know. This is what I'm talking. You're doing it again, basically.
Well, me and you almost fired Tim.
What?
We all know that wasn't going to happen.
Why did we? Oh, because Tim didn't. Because, his
Yeah,
flight.
we had Brando here. And
Yeah,
we
I
liked
was
Brando.
stuck.
We thought we were getting rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah,
The people spoke.
I think was it Nate or Adrian? Somebody voted us down on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bates came in.
Bates was on
came
my
in against
side.
you.
Yeah.
No,
Bates was with me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Aaron and Nate.
you had the votes.
Yeah.
No, Nate. No, the bit was Bates and maybe Dusty were with me. I don't remember.
Yeah. As I remembered, everybody's against you.
No, Nate was indifferent according to Bates, but
Yeah. I was hoping you could help me with some of these different variations of Crest. Now, he talked a lot about shelf space. One of the tricks with shelf space is, okay, you've got Pringles, Red Can, doing all his business. And then you're like, man, how do we get more shelf space? We have enough shelf space for Pringles to keep it in stock. Let's add a bunch of flavors. So it's like, sometimes it's because you want extra sales in the flavor. Sometimes you want those extra sales as well as just this giant presence. So like Crest is just toothpaste. If you go to the Crest aisle right now, there's 86 different kinds of Crest toothpaste. I wasn't in it. So maybe you could explain some of these different ones. We've got I think the normal, this is what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Just cavity protection. This is what I still use.
So what you have there is cavity protection. That's your basic Crest. They call it Crest Plus now because there's been some, sort of things that have been added to it, but that's a gel. There's also probably in the front, there's a cavity protection paste.
Yeah.
So there's a paste and a gel. So right away you've got two. So paste is kind of the old original one, kind of that light green, which the reason we have this here, it's another Procter & Gamble brand when I was there, probably still is. Yeah.
Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol is, in my opinion, the exact same mint flavor profile as Crest Original Paste, which is why I went away from Crest as a, this is probably blasphemous to say, but I switched over to Colgate back in the Houston days. Colgate. Yeah. Colgate. I was buying some produce.
I'm going to call Roy.
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy about this.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, it was because of the Crest paste, and it tastes crazy similar. And it wouldn't surprise me if they use the same, if they have the purchasing guys saying, we got to consolidate these brands. We got to get this, the mint. We're buying mint from this mint conglomerate. So we tested it.
We're going to do a taste test.
Yeah, we should.
A blind taste test. Who do you want to have do it?
Are you about to ask, does Pepto-Bismol taste like mint?
Yeah.
I would have said, no, it tastes like Crest Original, but Crest Original is mint. So
Can you get one of those Crests off the front there?
I don't know that I've
Sean?
ever had Pepto-Bismol in my life.
Okay.
Whoa.
Who wants to do the taste test? This is a blind taste test.
Who wants to administer it or take it?
Who's going to take
Troy's.
it? I'm going to administer it.
I've already formulated my opinion. It'll be hard to change it. I'm
Yeah,
just
so
looking
it's
for
Sean or Tim?
Tim, take it, man.
I really don't want to.
Tim, Sean, you
All
got it?
right, I'll do it.
All right,
It's
close your
toothpaste.
eyes.
It's good
Close
for
your
you.
eyes. Okay. Now we're going to give you three things, okay? And you're going to have to see if you can tell which ones they are.
All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
Now, one of them is Pepto-Bismol, okay? The other one is Crest toothpaste. Sean, you getting this straight? And the other one is the new Jif chocolate peanut butter, okay?
I'm telling you, man, if
Keep your eyes closed.
you're screwing with me, you're gonna pay.
No,
All right.
he's not. He's not. I
I'm not
won't
screwing
let
with
that
you.
happen.
Okay,
buddy.
I'm not screwing with you. Okay. Okay, now, nobody say anything. I want you to see, okay? I'm handing him something.
Could you put out your left hand here, please, Sean?
Okay, take that, put that in your mouth. Guide it in, Troy.
It's a toothbrush.
The
Again,
toothbrush.
That is either chocolate peanut butter,
No, don't. Chocolate peanut butter,
Pepto-Bismol,
Crest, or Pepto-Bismol.
or Crest toothpaste.
We've got an item that's on a toothbrush right now. For those of you who can't see. Okay, you got it, Sean?
Yeah.
Troy, give him some water to wash that out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to get up and
Palate-
rinse the whole thing.
palate cleanser.
Palate
Here, he's giving
cleanser.
you your mug.
He's giving you your mug.
You want your mug?
Well, I don't want to swat. It's toothpaste is what you just gave me.
Okay, but you need to cleanse
Hey,
the
just
palate.
because it was on a toothbrush,
Yeah, you
don't
don't know.
assume.
You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is.
I
Remember
see what you're
R&D
saying.
earlier? Yeah,
Yeah.
asked about the lab. This is the lab.
Yeah, this is a
All
lab.
right.
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
how this works.
Did you wash out your mouth?
If it's toothpaste, I'm not going to
We're not telling you.
swallow
You can't. Hey, dummy, you don't know what it is. Okay.
You can swallow
Exactly,
it.
I don't know. So I'm
Okay.
saying if it is toothpaste, I'm not going to swallow the toothpaste, stupid.
You can swallow
Don't.
a
I've done
little
some
bit of-
research that says you should not.
I think it's fine too, but I have an empty.
All
You want to
right.
spit it out in here? You want to spit
Yeah.
it?
I got it.
All right.
Okay.
I swallow toothpaste all the
Now
time.
give him
Sean-
the next one. Give him
Sean-
the next one.
Sean
All right.
drops dead.
Take this. This could be either toothpaste, Pepto-Bismol, or Jif chocolate peanut butter. Okay.
It's something to drink. It's like a
Go ahead.
little shot glass.
Be careful with my shirt.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
All right.
You don't have to drink very much. You don't have to drink very much.
All right, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Take a drink of water. Take a drink of water.
Oh, man, this is
It's going to be hard to
not gonna
figure
be
out.
fun.
R&D's not easy. I mean,
Yeah, it's not, man.
it's not easy.
Now, okay. Now we've got a next one. All right. Now,
Left hand, please.
let's see what you got there.
It's a spoon, by the way.
All
so
right.
you don't need to put the whole
Spoon.
thing in. You can just kind of sample it.
Okay,
All
try
right.
that. All right, so you get that coming up there. He's putting
just a
it
little.
in.
Just a little.
All right, right there. All right, now you got all three of them, Sean. Now I want you to play this completely straight. Tell us what you think. Number one, what was that?
I mean, it was Crest with Pepto and then the peanut butter.
How did he get it?
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
My God.
Unbelievable. Way to
High
go,
five.
buddy. Yeah.
Wait, are you serious? You actually is that supposed to be challenging or is this just
I did. The reason I'm bringing in this Jif, we've talked about this chocolate Jif peanut butter. We've talked about this a little bit on the podcast, and I found it for the first time in the stores, and I thought it might be good for you guys to give it a shot.
Great.
Yeah. Want to try that?
Yeah. I'm running low on my dark roast at home, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's Canadian. If I get up
decisions.
there, Troy, you want to give it a shot?
I would love to.
Yeah.
It's good. What am I
Tim's out.
What am I putting it on? You know, why do I need this? I guess would be my question. It is good.
Unless you eat it alone. Like, what do you?
Right.
There's no vehicle for
unless
it.
Things are going
Celery.
pretty bad.
Celery. You go, yeah.
I love regular Jif so much.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way,
Sean, did you like it?
I can't, man. The flavor profile's all screwed up because I had this.
Yeah. We messed with you on that one.
So
That's why I gave you that. That's why I was encouraging you to drink some water.
Oh wait, yeah, that doesn't work. That way.
Take another hit.
You can't brush your teeth. You can't put toothpaste in your mouth.
Yeah,
and
we
then
gave you
got
reverse order.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
20
Take
minutes.
a shot.
You want to hit?
No, I can't.
he's
I got
still
this
got
on,
it in.
man.
Wait, to go back to the original thing, did you notice similarities in the flavor of the Pepto-Bismol and the toothpaste?
For sure.
Really?
Similar. But
Smell
I
them,
mean, you
Tim.
could just
You
tell.
don't have to taste them. Just smell them.
All right,
You don't have to taste them. Just smell them.
I got to say on the Jif train, let me smell this real quick. Oh, yeah. I had no idea. That's not what I ever expected that to smell like.
Yeah.
Good call,
It's-
Troy.
yeah, it's-
Thank you.
It's minty.
We didn't talk about that in selling, but I just always knew it. I always had it somewhere in me.
They did some survey of all these chefs, and they asked them their favorite this, their favorite that. And one of the questions was peanut butter. And they all said this Costco organic creamy peanut butter. So I was like, well, I'm going to try it.
What are we talking?
Not even close to Jif.
Obviously
Not even close. I was so disappointed.
Obviously not.
I was like, is this going to rival? I mean, these are chefs we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not even close to Jif.
They're paid. They're obviously paid by Costco.
Well, something's going on.
Yeah, something's going on.
It's super liquid. It just was.
What's the Costco brand?
Kirkland.
Kirkland.
Yeah,
Kirkland,
is it
yeah.
Kirkland?
Named after
it was.
Kirkland, Washington, a suburb of Seattle,
Oh,
where
okay.
presumably Costco's headquartered.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so we got all these other kinds.
Yep.
though.
So the original is paste or
Gel.
gel. And the gel was a brand extension, I think, in the mid-'90s. Everything kind of went to gel. There's Kids Crest, which was really big in helping kids kind of adopt. There's a bubblegum flavor and whatnot.
We use that.
Do you? Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Nice.
My wife and I.
Then there's the nice. The whitening products that Randy loves, and he's right. This is a huge brand on its own. I mean, it's a I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars, perhaps $1 billion business just on its own. The whitening strips and Crest 3D White it's its own brand, not just a brand extension.
Did they work?
I think they get pretty good results. I need to use them probably, but the whitening component has been, if you go look at the store shelves, every brand has a whitening component to it as well. So to Greg's point, you already have this much shelf space, any of these brand extensions. Then when I was there we were there together in the early 90s, because of the Floristan or Floristat or fluoride, cavity reduction. I mean, one of my brothers is a dentist, and cavities weren't really a problem much anymore because of all the either fluoride in the water or fluoride in the toothpaste. So Procter & Gamble, I believe, was like, we got to find some other things to kind of fight. So gingivitis, you remember that term from
Sure.
back in the day, like
Yeah.
bleeding gums and whatnot? Not enough people floss. So they came up with this Crest Gum Care, which was a huge launch. This is called Crest Gum Rescue to help with gums that are receding, which is what Crest Gum Care was. And we had this huge launch, huge. And it was the biggest thing ever in health and beauty in a while. Speaking of Crest, like going back just a little bit, the American Chemical Association named Crest one of the top 2 significant discoveries in the past 100 years. That's how important like fluoride was. Crest.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's huge, huge, huge. So when they had this change of like fluoride's still important, but it's almost working too well, dentists need other things to work on. So cosmetic dentistry, Invisaligns, those sorts of things are working, and Crest Gum Care comes out. And it didn't go well. I don't know if it was just me or what. It didn't go well. They didn't want to hear about it. Yeah, exactly. So
Are you saying that Crest sort of invented gingivitis?
no, I'm
Or
saying
made it out to be
Watch
much,
it.
much worse than it was?
I'm saying that there's brilliant people in the brand and the R&D, and they're like, this is an issue that people don't know enough about, so we're going to go direct to consumer and blow it up.
because it affects 2 people a year.
I mean, I will say, I think not enough people floss.
Man, yeah, I know. I have some friends that have gingivitis, so just knock it
Oh
off.
man, I had no
Why
idea.
don't you shut up, man?
I didn't know.
No,
I didn't
you're out
know.
of line.
Thoughts and
I didn't
prayers.
know, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
man.
sorry. I didn't. I wouldn't have said it. I didn't know.
So
Can I
medicine,
make
talking about your dumb musician friends,
No, man.
You're
You're,
right.
can I make a donation or something? That's
Yeah, we're doing a GoFundMe.
yeah.
Metamucil was another
Help us
P&G
fight
brand.
gingivitis.
So the genius that we
What
were,
was that?
I don't know.
Try it again. I want to hear it now. I want to hear it.
I
I
heard it.
just went for it.
What is it?
Help us fight this gingivitis.
Help us fight this gingivitis.
Fight this. Yeah.
Fight this.
Fight this
fight this
gingivitis.
DIS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Help us fight this gingivitis.
I caught it.
I like it, man.
I had a blast listening to
Yeah.
that.
There's a fun run. You get a T-shirt. You say
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great brand.
It is a great brand. I think Brazzi named it Crest back in the day because it came from the crest of the oxen
And
hooves.
yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's
That
the
sounds like-
origin of the name.
Once again, you're back in 3000 BC
Brazzi.
with Sean.
Yep.
Brazzi, similar to Shakespeare, it's like, was it really one person or a group of people for whom, we accredit all that work to? One of my favorite Crest things, man, I really taught some people some things in high school where when, you'd have a CD, that CD would skip. A lot of times you'd see a visible scratch on it. Well, the move, I don't even know where I learned this, but I taught everybody I knew. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
There was all these, you had to be very technical about it. You got Kleenex and you dipped it in Crest, right? Put the Crest on, and then you'd, in circular motions, put it in the, all over the CD, the scratch, right? You'd really just work it in circles. And then, and this is where it got interesting, you'd put it in the toilet and flush it and something about the circular whatever, and it always worked.
Yeah.
It would knock off the Crest, take care of the scratch, and it would always work.
Do you think
I like
do you
it.
think it like abrased the scratch down to make it almost like buffed it out?
I have absolutely no idea. I just did it and taught everyone I knew.
Did you learn that in the DJ business, or
I think that was prior. I think it was one of the
that's
things
probably
that
why you got hired?
inspired me. Yeah.
They're probably like, "Hey, tell us something that we don't know."
Yep.
And you showed them there, like, "We got to get this guy
I led with that
out there."
Yeah. And then I'm dropping beats. It was great.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
was a DJ as a high school kid. Did very well for himself, and college, I think, right?
A little bit in college. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no Up With People, but it was,
Troy was in Up with People.
started it.
Troy, do you guys know what Up with People is?
We got to get to it.
Up with people.
Wait, you don't know about this?
Explain it.
I don't think I know about this. I'm sorry.
I didn't know about it until Troy.
So Up With People was founded in the mid-'60s by a guy named Blanton Belk. If you've ever been to the Southeast, you see Belk department stores. You ever seen this? So he was kind of a wealthy kid, trust fund kid. They had a place up in Michigan, and there was a lot of negative energy about the emergence of Vietnam and all this negative energy. So we tried to channel it all to a positive energy outlet for kids and started these hoot nannies that they would have in Michigan. He kind of grouped people together and just started touring around with a positive message. The Caldwell brothers were like these musician brothers that were quite talented. And then this woman named Glenn Close, who was one of the first cast members, the actress.
Glenn
Glenn
Close.
The Glenn
Yeah.
I don't know why he said a woman named Glenn
Yeah.
Close.
The woman,
Couldn't you
yeah.
just say Glenn
Yeah.
Close?
I saw a meme last night of she and Michael Douglas with a rabbit for like Happy Easter, which was pretty great.
It's pretty good.
Anyway, Glenn Close was in it. So Up With People became a positive musical thing, and then it was a Christian-based deal. And then to travel around the world and send a message of peace and understanding, they had to kind of lose the exclusivity of the Christian and bring other races, religions, and creeds into it. And so by the time I traveled in 1989, it was a 25th anniversary year, and we went on a world tour, and we did a musical show everywhere we went, and we do community service wherever we went in a day. It was a pretty cool
They
year.
sing.
We sing and danced. Yep.
They sing
And
and
dance.
dance.
And they'd go places and they'd live with host families, and then two of them would go ahead of time and promote and do press and stuff, and then the rest of them would show up and they'd put on these big shows.
Yep.
And
That's
it's been like a running joke on like Simpsons
The
and
Simpsons, what do they call it?
Hooray for everything.
Hooray for everything.
Which is so true.
And didn't Up With People do a Super Bowl halftime show?
Up With People changed the game for Super Bowl halftime shows. It was the first live musical act that wasn't a marching band. So they did, I believe, 4 Super Bowl halftime shows, maybe 5. The last one was in 1986 when the Bears smoked the Patriots.
Yeah.
And then In Living Color was doing their Super Bowl halftime show to kind of pull viewers over. And finally, whoever was promoting the actual Super Bowl, presumably the NFL, but I'm not sure which network, said we got to have a major halftime show to keep people in. So they partnered with Pepsi, and they brought this Michael Jackson super show in. And ever since then, it's been different. And Up With People hasn't made it back. But
I think they'll come back.
Yeah,
they could.
Kendrick Lamar cited Up With People as one of his big influences on his last.
Is that right?
one. Yeah, a lot of overlap there.
Yeah.
I think David Letterman's guitarist, Sid, was either in Up With People or David just roasted him all the time that he was. I'm not sure which. But the year I traveled was wonderful. It was 1989 and 90. The wall came down, and we were going to go on like a 6-country tour. And then with all of that happening in the world, it was just an unbelievable year to travel. So
Was that you guys? The
small-town
wall
kid.
coming down? Was that you guys?
We influenced it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
No,
great, man.
I was in Dayton, Ohio when that happened, and then the world just changed, and so that was a cool year to
There's
see
still
the
a
world.
wall up in Dayton.
Yeah.
Between Dayton and the rest of the world.
One thing at a time, you know. Get to that eventually.
Yeah. You can't get from Cincinnati to Dayton without going over that wall.
Greg can't do it. He's afraid of heights, so he's got to drive around. You know,
That's true. Bring all those walls down.
Good memory enough with people there, Tim.
Oh, it's man! I blew my mind. Blew my mind that I just had never been on my radar before. And then once you like talked me through it and stuff, now I see people referencing it all over the place.
And did you sing and dance, or were there different parts? Or
I sang and danced a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was great. It was a wonderful year.
I think when I first started working the Funny Bone in Des Moines, my friend Ron Morey, Ron was experimental. He's a genius comic and one of my favorite people in the world. Ron was headlining and I was opening, and somehow he brought me and Troy both up on stage, and I was doing an impression of Freddie DeMarco, and Troy was doing Up With People. You were singing and dancing, right?
And he was Johnny Carson, right?
Yes.
Was it the Carson show?
He was doing Johnny Carson.
Yeah, that was a funny bit.
Yeah, he was doing, I think he was doing Vietnamese Johnny Carson.
I think Gross was there throwing stuff at us, and rightfully so.
Mark Gross could have been there.
Yeah.
A famous sitcom writer, and my buddy.
Well, let's do comments.
Let's do comments. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do comments.
A lot
Let's
of great
talk about
comments. It starts with this letter from JJ Springer. Oh, Troy, we call this comments with Convy. Consumer comments with Convy. It changes names, but you get it. Comments that are faithful.
CC. I believe that's the Communist Party, isn't it?
It is.
No. Also approved by the ADA. Comments with Convy. Here we go. JJ Springer wrote, I teach an elementary school class in Nebraska. Last week, my students were learning to calculate area in square units. To illustrate, I asked them for an everyday example of something square. One of my students called out Cheez-Its, which she happened to be snacking on at the time. Had the consumers not been a part of my life, I would have simply said, yup, and moved on. However, because of your excellent episode on Cheez-Its, I had my moment. We measured a couple of the crackers. Admittedly, they had taken a beating throughout the morning and found out that they are 26 millimeters by 24 millimeters and not, in fact, square. My students were blown away by my knowledge, and I owe it all to you. Gentlemen, if you accomplish nothing else in life, take satisfaction in knowing that my students are a little less ignorant about the world and a little more in awe of me. Keep up the great work. JJ Springer, Central City, Nebraska.
How about that?
That's pretty sweet.
How about that, man? Yeah. I don't think any of us are going to accomplish anything else in the world. So
call it.
Yeah, let's call it.
Yeah.
That's
great
what we
pod,
do.
everybody.
Yeah, good pod, man.
Give it a run.
A lot of these comments coming from the moon pie episode, which people seem to really, really like.
I liked it.
We ate moon pies, RC colas, all that.
Tim threw one in my face.
People really like that. Jim B. Ham 9343 said, these boys ain't Southern. They don't understand flavor and sweet treats. So we get criticized for that, for not being Southern quite a bit.
No, we're not Southern, man. We're not trying to be Southern, though.
No.
We're not faking it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And by the way, I really enjoyed that moon pie. You guys, you hated it.
I came around.
Came around.
I did not hate it. That is a very strong word. I did not. There's a not care for it.
Yeah.
I hated mixing these three combinations. That's what I hated.
Yeah. I hated you not going along with the bit.
I didn't know you're doing one. We've been through this. Tim, continue. You're handsome.
Shadow Champ says, at what point is Randy the guest? Not sure what brand he'd be tied to, but he keeps pulling out interesting / surprising stories.
Yeah, what did he have? Something about his dad.
His grandpa played with Hank Williams.
Yeah. That was good.
Super cool.
If
you did a brand, Randy, what would we don't have time to wait for this answer.
Sam's Club. Sam's Club water.
Yeah. Kristen here. Question. Who is writing the YouTube show summaries which sit just below the video? As an English teacher, I must say it is fine writing. Good amount of teaser, foreshadowing, wordplay, and even some japery. Kudos to whoever is writing them.
I've done a few. Martin did he did the bulk of the first 25 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then Randy's been doing them for the last 340. Yeah.
Good job, Randy. We talked quite a bit about on that moon pie episode, the moon pie and RC Cola, which they pair together famously. Troy, I don't know how familiar you are with that.
10-cent lunch.
They call it the working man's lunch. We went on and on about working man and doing a podcast, and we got beat up bad because our pal Dusty Slay, of course, has a special called
Working man.
And everybody was like,
Yeah, we got
Dusty Slay. Dusty Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I turned on, took a look at YouTube that next morning and then the consumers Facebook group. And, Dusty Slay.
Yeah, we got tuned up.
No, I thought they were Dusty Slay. Oh, look at these comments.
Dare
Doing the
you.
moon piles. A working man, Dusty Slay. I mean, it's the same Nateland over there in Nashville. They know each other. They've been on the same park. Did he cross over with Dusty Slay?
Can you do that one more time?
Baby, coming on, looking on some Dusty Slay.
That's perfect.
Randy. Whoa.
I'm going to Dusty Slay. Dusty Slay.
We talked, and I believe it was a clip about how Sean tips his accountant when he does his taxes for him.
Absolutely.
David Vigliotti said, as a recovering accountant, I would appreciate the generosity, but would prefer not to receive a tip. The reason is we are a particular bunch, and this wreaks havoc on our books.
Yeah, I bet you there's some CPAs that are like, nah, dude, just give me they take it under the table.
Yeah, I mean, it was cat. It was
But they're particular, yeah.
How much you tip her?
$20. I was basically like, hey, but here, I said lunch on me. I just said lunch on me,
Yeah.
which these days I don't even know if that covers lunch, but I thought it was just the idea. of it.
Working man's lunch.
It was a working man's lunch. So.
Dusty Slay.
Yeah, I said that. Oh, by the way, can we? You two. I'm not trying to.
Us
You
too?
go. Well, somewhat you, and definitely you. You both tried to wind up on me about the World War II Sweden Switzerland
Oh, no.
thing.
I'm about to get to that.
Holy moly! Go ahead, man. I'll let you get to it.
This is one of those things I don't know that we're ever going to truly get to the bottom of. If you missed it on that moon pie episode, Sean referenced Sweden being neutral.
Correct.
And then Greg kind of picked on him and said, no, man, it's Switzerland. Did I jump on you?
You did a little, man.
I did a little. Okay.
Switzerland is
That's fair.
notoriously.
That's the one you say. That
it's
in
notoriously-
that,
I think because of some of the banking thing, they're notoriously neutral.
and when people do like the bit like, oh, Switzerland over here.
Oh, yeah. It's
the thing. However, as so many people jumped in to comment about,
Oh, it was a second. Sweden. Sweden.
Oh, it was great.
Sweden neutral too. Sweden neutral and the working man is Dusty Slay.
for example, Cameron.
Sweden neutral. I'm telling you another thing. There's a World War II. So Dusty Slay, working man. It's Sweden.
Cameron Green said, Cameron Green said, Sean's soldier here.
Dusty Slay, Sweden.
It would be great if Greg and Tim actually checked their history because Sweden has famously been neutral. Keep spreading the truth, Sean. Why and logic, brother. They love
yeah.
Sean.
Who was
They
that?
love
Logic?
Sean.
Is it Sean's brother?
No, Cameron Green.
Okay.
Cameron Green.
Cameron Green.
Thanks, Cam.
Cameron
Good
Green,
person.
a.k.a. Chip O'Brien.
And then lots of comments about the moon pie assaults. The very end of the episode.
Yeah. Tim, I threw one at Tim, but I think you asked me to throw it at you.
No, I said I was suggesting an experiment, and then next thing I knew, I got a vanilla moon pie in the face, Troy.
But then we ended the episode by me taking one of the
Great.
chocolate, I believe.
And what's funny is in the clip, you should watch it on YouTube because if you see it in the wide shot, the full hook, you see that it was much harder than it looks like in the clip. In the clip, it looks like I'm only this far away from you, but I got you pretty good. And then I ran away.
Scurried off.
Ran like a coward.
Kurt Lewis 85.8 said, I want to know what happened for 5 minutes after they cut. I hope Greg splattled him.
Spladled.
Spladled?
Spladled's a move, a wrestling move.
Oh,
Yeah.
spladled.
It's a move that, leaves you in a very sort of embarrassing situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Say no more. Thanks for not spladling.
You're on your back
me.
getting pinned and you can't move.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable.
Get it.
Yeah.
And then a few comments from the cheesecake episode because we haven't all been together since that one.
Some
came-
people call it
came
the
out.
Sanders Cradle,
Oh, okay.
named after Rick Sanders.
Sure.
Yeah.
Say no more. This
Oh,
is our
Sweden.
Cheesecake Factory episode. We haven't been together since that one came out with our guest Aletha, who was fantastic. People went on and on about how much they loved Aletha from the Cheesecake Factory.
She's a natural.
Yeah, she's a star.
She was great.
She's a star. I think we got a lot of hits on one clip just because we had her face on it.
Agreed.
Yep. We haven't had a girl on the podcast
Yes.
before or then, and I think it was refreshing for somebody to see an attractive girl on the podcast.
She was great.
Yeah.
Bobby Johnson, 6410.
No offense, Troy. Troy's a good-looking guy. I think he's going to get us some views here.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. All the clips are just Troy.
Yeah.
Smiling.
With people.
Yeah, doing his own
Ready for everything.
Yeah.
Bobby Johnson, 6410 said, I learned something helpful from the consumers. I was trying to replace some broken lights at my house, but looking up at the 6-inch flush mount LEDs yielded so many results. I couldn't find ones that matched the existing lights. He was trying to replace them. He looked up. He didn't know what to do. Then he noticed the broken ones had a skew.
Stock keeping unit.
Thank you, Troy.
There you go. Because he listens to the podcast, he knew what it meant, so he Googled that number and found exactly what he needed. Thank you, Greg Warren, for teaching me something other than the words to fish sandwich.
You're welcome, buddy. And I didn't teach Tim because he called it a skoo.
Well, I always know it's something weird. Sorry. Skew, Troy. Wesley Martin, 7682, said, I got to be honest, I was nervous about this one, talking about the cheesecake episode. As a fellow corporateite, I wasn't sure how a cheesecake exec would translate, not to mention revisiting a brand, albeit 438 episodes into a show. But dang, this worked. One of my favorite episodes to date. Aletha was fantastic.
She was awesome. We may do a third.
Yeah, I think we had to bring on Overton, the CEO one.
Really?
Did we get Overton to come down?
Get Overton. I'm still waiting on my answer on my, do I get my rehire?
Your HR record?
Still out there. Yeah. Yeah, they iced me. They got rid of me. But I'm trying to get just a clean bill of health back in the books over there.
When you get in front of him, I think you should just tell him it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong.
I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Say that again, Troy.
Wow.
It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. I think if you go with that, you'll get your status back.
Yeah, that's solid, dude.
Yeah.
That might be.
You deserve it.
Great clip. Bump. Troy smiling.
Yeah.
What you're saying that might be.
I mean, if Troy's going to do a clip, he needs to sing the. He's a singing.
You do have
song and dance
a
man.
catchy.
Yeah.
You do have a catchy.
He's a song and
riff,
dance man. He's up with people.
Yeah.
I was.
You like the theme song? That's Kevin Bowers.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, right?
It's very catchy.
Set the tone. More Aletha love. Ashley Farley, 7489 said, let's all just agree right now that regardless of what it says on the menu, we will tell the waiter we want Aletha's chicken shawarma. Eventually, they'll have to make the name official.
Yeah, let's get that going.
Could get that going.
Yeah.
You got called out by a few people on this. Justin Higgins, 2752, and others said, Greg was very excited to have a real adult on the podcast. Cut to 2 minutes in where Greg asked her to dance on the table. He was also beating me up in the first 30 seconds about being an adult because we had a guest. And then I think we were bragging about the new table and he's like, you want to get up and dance on it?
Yeah, that's how we opened her up.
A lot of people waited on that. We also, you and I got called out quite a bit about, we've mentioned before that we're dairy free and then just pounding the cheesecake on that episode. And then we'll do this one. We'll do one more here. Randy, brace yourself. Get that mic ready. Jeffrey Ryan, 1609 said, I've enjoyed the consumers over the past 4 years and listen in my car during my commute. I find I have to crank up the volume when Greg is musing and meandering. When Sean booms in, I'm smashing the dial to the left. Perhaps you would consider a sound guy,
Randy,
to balance your microphones.
Randy.
Might be. This is insane.
This guy is he's making an enemy right here.
Listen to this.
What do you think Randy is?
This is insane. Might be as simple as a thick wool sock over Sean's mic. It's the Goldilocks syndrome. Greg is too soft. Sean's too loud. Tim is just right. From the folks in the brand stands. Vote Convy. A thick wool sock? Do you know how bad that would look?
Yeah, aesthetically not pleasing.
Randy, what do you have to say?
I thought he was going to say thick wool sock over Sean.
Well, we could try that too.
Real
That'd
thick
be a
sock.
big one.
Randy, what do you have to say?
These microphones have a bigger little windscreen for them. However, it's voices. Sean's voice is a lot louder. Greg's voice gets kind of quiet. And Tim's is Tim's. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But thanks, I appreciate it, man.
You can't teach.
I mean, I guess
He does not appreciate it.
Randy, no, he doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
They said we should get a sound guy.
Yeah.
That's what Randy is.
Unbelievable.
He's a sound guy.
Yeah, I'm leaving it alone. It's a family
What's this guy's
podcast,
name?
man. It's a family
What's this
podcast.
guy's name? It is a family
Jeffrey.
podcast. Thanks, Randy.
Jeffrey Ryan, 1609.
You think Jeffrey Ryan, 1609, toured with Greg Allman?
No,
he
or
didn't.
any of his brothers for
Yeah.
that matter.
Jeffrey Ryan, 609. Do you think his grandpa, Jeffrey Ryan, 607, was a friend of Hank Williams?
No, absolutely
think
not.
so.
Nope,
No, I don't think so.
nope.
This guy's got a lot of nerve. We appreciate you listening, though.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take the maybe I should just tone it down.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't think it'll work. I mean, I don't know how to get much low. Like, I guess I talk like this,
You leave.
like that. I could leave, man. I could leave, man. But then who are you going to beat up on, Greg? You see, that's the thing.
Oh,
you
I-
need the punch. I
think I know who.
Actually, you have been getting hit lately.
Yes,
Tim.
thank
so
you,
You're
Sean.
right.
Thank you.
You were off the hook for like the first 20,000 episodes, and now you're getting peppered.
That's coming around.
I love you, buddy.
We love you, man. I'm glad you're home safe from the big Europe trip. Still so cool, dude.
Yeah.
So cool you got to do that.
We done with comments?
Yeah, absolutely. Great ones though. Thank you. Keep up the good work with the comments on the YouTube channels. Comment on the clips too, guys. That come out on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. Comment on those clips. It's helpful. We appreciate it. Leave reviews on Apple Podcasts for us. And when it comes to the like button, Sean, tell them what to do.
You got to smash. Smash that like button.
He backed off on that one, man.
Wow, I'm too loud.
Don't let Jeffrey bully
And when,
you.
what's his name?
1609.
Jeffrey
Ryan
1609.
Braun or whatever. Whatever
Ryan
it's called.
Braun? I like it.
Smash that like button.
Sean, you
I'm afraid.
Troy, you brought some gifts for us, right?
Oh,
What?
yes.
you
The
have
Otis
them?
gifts?
Yeah, where are they?
They're right here. Hold on.
Yeah. These are from, who are they from?
You know, the consumer's touches a lot of people.
Yeah, it
you
does.
really do.
Yeah.
And you just never know which brands you're going to do and how wide it's going to go. Some people might think Otis was an unusual choice because do you consume an elevator? No, but we need elevators to get around. I used it today, the Eiffel Tower.
The Arch.
The Arch,
Yeah.
same.
Same
So
thing.
I got a couple buddies in Des Moines that work for Otis just by chance, and they loved the podcast, and they want to give you some swag. I've got an extra large hooded sweatshirt.
Like that.
Give him
Yeah.
a
And he knows
pilot.
what to call it.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Oh,
then there's
look at all
4
those
hats.
hats.
There's one for Randy. There's old school Otis logo.
Yeah.
These are from my buddies, the Hagans. There's this family in Des Moines that are just wonderfully experienced on elevators. Mike and Brandon Hagans, their brother Garrett, their dad works there. Their uncle, it's the whole family thing, but they're just wildly skilled and they just love you guys and brought you some hats.
Oh,
some swag.
look at that.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
Nike and Otis teaming together. Right there.
Yeah.
Now, Sean got some
We got
Otis
some
stuff.
stuff,
Not
yeah.
for me and Tim, but he got some for him, I think.
No, we got stuff.
Oh, yeah, we got to
yeah,
show you.
yeah,
We got to show
yeah.
you.
Otis treated you well.
They were great.
But
man.
Sean tends to go on Twitter and beg for stuff, whereas I think you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you just got it, right?
They just appreciated your podcast and they're big fans of the pod. And
Well, tell those Hagen boys I'm appreciative.
They're
I'm
great.
going to have one of these Nike hats if that's okay, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Like we have a choice.
I love this, but I don't think I can fit. I need a double X, man.
Yeah, I like that too. That I think, Randy, maybe
I'd
that's
wear
high vis, safety first.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Sean, you want to tell us about where people can see us doing stand-up comedy?
I
and
do.
the likes?
I do. I want to talk about it. Let's get into it right here. This is a lot of stuff. Greg's back in the mainland, everybody.
These United States.
He's the United States. So let's kick it off. We got Paxton, Illinois, the Cadillac. That's going to be April 30th. Sounds like a one-nighter, Greg. Is that correct? One show?
Yeah, one show.
Beautiful. Followed by the Burlington Auditorium in Burlington, Iowa on May 1st. Pretty sweet. May 2nd, you got the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri.
Ding, ding,
which-
ding, 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 ding.
Is that a low ticket alert?
Is that a low ticket alert?
I don't know if it is or it isn't, man.
What are you
we,
dinging?
We didn't just because that's where I went to college. It's my
That's where
alma
Tim went
mater.
to
It's-
college.
Thank you,
Tim
Sean.
went to school there. It's a very important place for me. I love it there.
Yeah, Greg, did you know that's Tim's second favorite sports team?
Oh
Is
yeah,
the
big
Mizzou
Notre Dame
Tigers.
guy. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously, the Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's
He
the-
went there, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he wears Notre Dame hats
You'd think
in
he did.
Mizzou.
You'd think he did go to Notre Dame, Sean, but he didn't actually.
We got to check on that because he's, diehard fighting Irish guy.
Oh yeah, no, it's all he talks about. But actually, he never even.
That's all I talk
I'm
about.
not sure he's been there. To be honest with you, I don't think he's ever set foot in South Bend, Indiana.
Many, many times since the time I was a child.
We went once a year. My dad would take us.
Have you been to a football game in the last 2 years?
At Notre Dame in the last 2 years. No.
Oh, all right.
Blame it on the kids. I got kids.
Yeah, I got kids.
Yeah, he's got
I haven't
kids.
done it.
So
I also haven't been to a Mizzou game
I like where you're going,
just
Sean.
as long.
I like where you're going. He's so in 2 years, has not been to one game. Purchased 73 hoodies, hooded
I
sweatshirts.
don't think I've bought anything.
Yeah, 73 hooded sweatshirts.
You know what? The thing that you guys beat me
You know
up
what?
about.
You know
Listen,
what?
the thing that
You
you
know
guys
what?
beat, your impression of me is terrible because your voice doesn't sound perfect in the microphone like mine does. The thing that you guys made fun of me about was a Notre Dame hat that I bought when I was there for a football game.
Okay.
And I haven't bought anything since.
Yeah, I wasn't made fun by buying the hat. I just didn't know at all that you were a fan of Notre Dame. That was me. That's all. Not, I love you, man. I just didn't know. So
I'm going to be some other places, right?
Yeah, let's keep on going. Olympic Theater, that's in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, on May 3rd. And then this is big, guys. Get out your pens and papers. This is big. The Grove in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Guess who's coming along this time?
Sean O'Brien?
You got that right.
Oh, huge.
Sean
That's
O'Brien.
May 8th through the 11th.
What's May 11th, Sean?
May 11th.
Mother's Day. Bring your
Oh,
mamas.
yeah.
Bring your mamas.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're doing it. All right. Beautiful.
Great club, great place, great people. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Bill, he's a madman.
Bill is the man.
Funniest guy. I think from a Booker owner, that I've met. He's
He's a character.
Yeah.
complete
He's a character.
complete character. And
He's got
then-
that one Magic Johnson joke that he
Oh,
tells
gosh.
over and over.
We would tell you guys, but you would probably stop listening. So we don't want to do that.
If you haven't
It
already.
lasts about 9 minutes, and no, they're with us. No problem. But the Matt John joke, that would be tough.
I'm not sure there's a payoff in that 9 minutes.
It's pretty rough. So, and then finally, May 21st in Irvine, California. See Greg at the Improv. And let's talk about this. Greg special. We did reference it earlier. May 16th, launch date of, I think we're finally premiering the name right now. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This
Really?
is big.
Yeah.
We have settled on, Greg, it's your show. I'm letting you call it, buddy. The Champ. That's it.
Nice.
And I love
Good
it.
choice.
Man. Somebody said that at the taping. I remember that floated around, and I was like, that's great. I love
It's called The Champ.
The
and
Champ.
it comes
Yeah.
out on Nate's YouTube channel, like The Salesman, a couple years ago. And it's on May 16th. And I'll hit you guys up maybe in a couple weeks. But I'm really hoping some of the coterie can jump in early and influence the algorithm. And I think you guys are going to like it. It's
great.
if you like stand-up comedy, and if you like my stand-up comedy, I think you'll like it. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, Tim and I were there. It's
Extraordinarily warm audience by the time he went up there. It was really, there's something to see, especially from the beginning.
Tim
Yeah.
was the warm-up guy. That's it's all about
A
him.
very well-dressed warm-up guy.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Thank you.
Troy was there.
Yeah, I remember.
Troy's son George was there.
Jorge was there.
Great times.
yeah, that was fun.
Jorge, yeah.
Colgate.
Colgate.
Yeah.
Colgate.
Of course, his name's Jorge. Guy's been using Kolgata.
That's exciting. The Champ is a great name. That's huge.
Thanks, man.
The Champ.
Yeah, man.
Love
So
it.
we'll get on that. Watch it with them. It's good, man. It's really good. I mean, I was a little nervous because I didn't think he topped The Salesman, but I think he did here. So it's
High praise.
that's that. Yeah.
Anything
it's
else to
hard,
plug
so.
for Tim?
And then Tim, you can see it Zanies in Chicago, June 1st. That's a Sunday, June 1st. Zanies. Tim Convey will be headlining.
Headlining, doing the music thing.
there. And
Yeah.
Gary.
It's a small room. So get those.
It's a great room.
get
And Tim's
those
going to rock
tickets.
there. And this music project that he and Kevin have put together is really, really cool. Kevin Bowers, who wrote and recorded our theme song,
Yeah.
is now a comedic partner of Tim Convey.
Yes. So and it's stand up, and then at the end we do some music. So I don't want people to think it's whatever, but it's a stand up show. Opening comics will be there, and then we do the music thing. It's fun. But if you're anywhere near Chicago and interested in coming, definitely get the tickets sooner than later. And then music project that if you just timconveystuff.com, we're doing a lot of the punk rock Disney stuff that's coming up. St. Louis, Chicago, Madison.
Troy,
Very cool.
any
Any
anything
dates
to plug? Any reunions for Up With People?
I think, no, not this year, but next year there might be a 35th reunion, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 40th.
Do they invite you to
Wow.
those things?
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Do you perform?
You do, and it's amazing how much of the show you remember because we
Really?
did it like 160
So
shows
you've
or
done
something
one of
in a
these
year.
reunions?
Oh yeah, I've probably done 3 or 4 of them.
And where was the last one you performed at?
Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big crowd?
No crowd, just other alums. So they do like 5-year increments.
Because
But
nobody went early to start promoting and live with a host
see,
family.
he picks up on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know who introduced my first show ever? It was our dress rehearsal. Eugene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Really?
it was pretty cool. He gave me a little trick because I had a nosebleed and we didn't have an understudy yet because it was our first show. And I'm looking at Tim because he appreciated the music thing. I was dancing the first song and then sang the second song, and he taught me this little trick to put a paper towel kind of up under my lip because he said up in space we just kind of pinch it here, and so it almost looked like a skull banded. But that was a little trick I learned from Eugene Cernan. So it was the first
Why
show.
did you do it?
I had a bloody nose.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of freaking out. I mean, it was right before the show.
You
Yeah.
know who introduces a lot of my shows?
This guy,
Sean
O'Brien.
Sean O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yep.
He hates it.
Taught me nothing.
He's not.
I think you do a great job.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm not the best, but I mean,
No, he's very funny.
Greg
He's got a nice comedy act. He's got a good act.
Who's that? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Strong.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Sean's
man.
got it.
Des Moines loves you.
Des Moines
They do,
does
man.
love you.
Yeah. It's a big
Oh
place.
yeah, I
for-
was in Des Moines.
Yeah.
With Nikki and
Yep.
and Greg before.
Yep.
But
Yeah. We have been the consumers. Oh, Dusty Slate.